Like I said, I mean, I could feel it in the air today. Like, you could feel the chaos.
Mist coming in.
Okay, it seems I'm connected now to
Teams, okay, cool.
Teams, yeah. My brain is like, slack.
Oh, no, again.
Oh my freaking word.
This day has
Today
been...
just needs to die.
And I still have load shedding to come. Thank you so much, Escom.
Um,
Really appreciate it.
Well, if there's load shedding later, Bass has to go back to the office. Last night at 10 o'clock he had to go to the office because he has to be there in case a breaker goes off, and then he has to switch it back on. So for load shedding, he has to sit in the office by himself.
Oh, I'd be so scared. If it's late at night, I'd be so fucking scared.
Yeah, I'm weird.
Sorry.
Oh, before we forget. Hello, this is Laura Noman.
Hello.
Welcome. I saw we gained a lot of followers in the last few days as well.
I saw that
on Facebook.
too. I saw that too. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't understand why, but thank you.
When I have to edit this, I hate listening to myself. Ugh.
Yeah, no. I always start with myself because I feel like I can just quickly be like, no, delete that. No. And then with you, I'm like, I listen carefully and I'm like, no, let's take that out. And maybe that's one breath too many.
I always feel like your part goes so well because you're usually so well spoken in comparison to me, who mutters shit in between the whole time because I can't pronounce things.
Well, hopefully that is gonna help me with my teaching. So
Is it like an 8 to 5 thing or?
No, at 12 till my shift is 12 till 6. So there's 6 classes, one after the other. It's like 45.
Ah! What the fuck?
What is happening? I was gonna say earlier, I saged and everything's been awful. Like my flowers just fell. This glass just hit my leg. What spirits did I piss off? I'm gonna take a photo of that.
Do you need
and that's gonna get posted.
Definitely. What the hell? Was it unstable? Did you recently repack it?
No, I didn't move it at all. It's literally just been on the shelf.
Love it. Don't
you dare! And I wonder if it's because of my story choice for today as well.
Oh no.
What is happening? Either someone hexed me, or I don't know, maybe when I saged. Oh nice! She's reaching for the incense. You know what? I'm gonna do the same with my protection. These are protection ones. Word, what on earth? That was so random. There's not even a breeze. That's what's freaking me out. There's no wind or breeze. It's been there the entire day.
And you haven't repacked or anything recently?
No, I didn't touch that shelf. I have been in this room the entire day, and it was fine. I don't like this. Ow! Sorry.
No!
It cut me.
No, what the hell?
Let me just get the scoopy quickly.
Okay.
I have not been near that shelf. I have not touched it. That was completely unexpected.
Oh, I do not look forward to editing this.
Oh my word. If you hear any voices, save it and send it to me.
I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm just gonna cut it.
No, I need to hear it so that I know what I'm dealing with. Because what the hell?
On our 13th episode, let me just reiterate that.
That is insane. I was actually thinking, the demon painting I did of Valak from The Nun? I got glow-in-the-dark paint. I should do her eyes in glow-in-the-dark.
Oh my word. She hung up.
Yeah, it's on the wall next to my photos. Next to my little Victorian, Oh, I didn't sage those. Maybe that's the problem. I got it at the thrift store, these little antique frame things. So they were above Annabelle.
I do not like that. At all.
Oopsie.
I just wanted to mention, before we start again, last week I said that I'll touch on the Bush of Evil again and go and see it, go and find out if it's been removed. And good news is that yes, it was cleared back in 2006 or something like that. Maybe 2000, yeah, around there. But now the same piece of dune-like land has ironically become a safe haven to hundreds of families who were forcefully removed from unfinished N2 gateway houses in February 2008. So this is an article that I found from 2008. And the site's called Western Cape Anti-Eviction.
Oh, okay.
Because, as I think a lot of people know, the Western Cape has a really, really big homelessness problem. Government doesn't do anything about it. In fact, benches that are uncomfortable to sleep on are being built more, and people are being evicted from their houses or their tents and stuff like that. I mean, in town by Parliament, have you seen how many people sleep out there in tents? How many homeless people are out there?
I saw outside of the castle, though, not
Yes,
Parliament, but when I drove past there, like the entire like perimeter, there's just like housing. I want to say it's just like tents and like tops and stuff, and people just sleeping all around the castle, and it's so sad.
It's very sad. So, like I said, I found this article on a site called Western Cape Anti-Eviction. And in the article, they spoke to Joey's mother, I think, because they said Kim's mother in the beginning of the article, but the woman's surname was Joseph's, like Joey Joseph's surname. And then she kept on talking about Joey. So I assume that maybe they just made a mistake, because remember, both Joey and Kim were found there in that area in the Bush of Evil.
Yeah, but she's fact check,
In the article, they spoke to Joey's mother, and she said, when they evicted us, I just lost it. Those same policemen couldn't arrest my child's murderer, but they can kick us poor people out of the only houses we have. When the article was published in 2008, she had set up a makeshift like hockey or informal house on the very spot that Joey had been found.
Oh, that's so tragic. But it's so like, was it intentional? Because you know how it's like, well, now I'm close to her at least, that whole...
Yeah, she did mention that she understands that some people might see it as strange, but she actually found a lot of comfort and a lot of closure from being there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last place she was,
Exactly. So, disclaimer, the following stories contain graphic content and might not be suitable for everyone. The sources I used to find the information will be listed below, and everything I say is my own opinion unless it is stated as fact. So, the story takes place in Gqeberha. The story is, or the case is about Vicki Terblanche, who is 42. So Vicki Terblanche was a wonderful mother to a 12-year-old boy, and she had this child with her ex-husband, Arnold Terblanche. I almost said Arnold, who is 55. The two split when Vicki filed for divorce in December 2020, citing the fact that the marriage had suffered an irretrievable breakdown with extramarital affairs. In 2021, it didn't exactly say when in 2021, Vicki started dating a new man called Reinhard Leach, who was 32. He was a primary school teacher, and they had a relationship. They weren't, I don't know how long they were together. It also didn't say how long, but yeah. On Thursday, the 21st of October 2021, Reinhard Leach files a report that Vicki Terblanche had been missing or had gone missing. A spokesperson for SAPS, Colonel, I always want to say Colonel, Colonel Priscilla Naidu said on Friday, the 22nd of October, 2021, the police were called to a suspicious house. Upon arrival at around 10 o'clock at night, They found the place in shambles with doors left open, including the garage doors. So they felt like something was off with the scene, and they called for a forensic team. And at that moment, a man arrived at the house, stating that he lives there. It was Reinhard Leach. He was immediately taken in for questioning, for obvious reasons. And then police were eventually led to a friend of Leach's house, and he was also questioned. On Saturday, the 23rd of October, 2021, investigators, with the assistance of the police and the canine unit, found Vicky's body in a shallow grave in an open field in green bushes. A post-mortem had revealed that she had been suffocated, and there were also pills found in her system. By the 24th of October, both Leach and his friend Dylan Cullis, who was 24, were arrested and charged with murder. But Vicky's death was still being investigated. On the 1st of November 2021, Herald Live reported on Vicki Terblanche's memorial in Nelson Mandela Bay. Why don't I say Nelson?
That's the best name for like a reporter. Herald Live.
Oh, no, Herald Live is the, like, publication.
Oh, Herald.
Oh, a Herald, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, okay.
Sorry. It's not even a difficult word and I still mispronounce it. Oh my word, help me. Herald Live reported on Vicki Terblanche's memorial in Nelson Mandela Bay. Her son spoke at a funeral saying, quote, "My favourite meal that you used to cook for me was spaghetti bolognese. I will really miss that. Thank you for always being there for me," he said. "When I miss you, I will kiss the necklace I have of you around my neck and say, I love you, Mom."
Aww.
Yeah. End quote.
That's so sad.
Oh, I know. It's quite tough reading that. I mean, for a 12-year-old to lose his mom, and your parents are going through a divorce, firstly, which is tough. I mean, speaking from experience. And then for something like this to happen, my heart goes out to him.
That's tragic.
Then I read that Arnold Terblanche, Vicky's at this point estranged husband, they were actually due to meet in court regarding the divorce on the 19th of October.
Okay.
So he burst into tears, or quote, burst into tears, and had to be comforted to speak. Now, on face value, like, this isn't necessarily a red flag. I mean, he and Vicki had been married for a long time, 14 years, and they had a son together. But then I read the following. Taken directly from Herald Live, quote, addressing their son, Arnold said he could not help but get emotional knowing that this was never the life he had envisioned for himself or his family. "I wanted you to grow up in a stable and loving home, but this was never meant to be," he said. "I have found love. Unfortunately, Vicki did not." Arnold said,
Nice.
Arnold said that it saddened him that his son would never feel his mother's love again, but he would remind his son that she was in a better place and looking down on him. "Vicki, I am so sorry for what they did to you. I know you better than anybody else, and I know the demons you were fighting," he said. And continued, "Even though our story ended, I want you to know that I am forever grateful to you for giving me our son." Continuing with the...
Oh, jeez. Okay,
No.
continue.
Okay.
No, I'm getting such Chris Watts vibes.
"I want you to know that you can rest peacefully knowing that I will take care of our beautiful son." And then I wrote, and that's when my eyes started to narrow towards Arnold Terblanche, exactly like yours were narrowing the whole time I was reading that. Exactly like that.
Yeah, I know.
So I also said, like, I just feel like it's such a disrespectful thing to say at your son's mother's funeral. You know, talking about how you find love and she didn't. What the fuck is that? What does that have to do with anything?
It's like he's purposely trying to point out reasons why she's to blame somehow. Like, he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, but she wasn't happy in the marriage and she had demons. Like, he's so innocent. He was just dealing with her the whole time.
By the 9th of November, Arnold Terblanche had been implicated in the murder. And on the 17th of November, he was arrested and facing murder charges.
Nice.
So let me for a moment take you back to the divorce. And I want to start right off with the trigger warning. Suicide. But you won't really hear anything like how it happened or anything like that. But before filing for divorce, Vicki Blanche attempted to kill herself due to Arnold being abusive, physically, emotionally, and verbally. So she tried to commit this in November of 2020, and she filed for divorce in that December.
Okay. And then she was dead a year later in November.
October.
Oh, October.
Yeah, because they found her body on the 22nd of October.
Oh, jeez.
It also came to light that a previous spouse of Arnold had been married 3 times by when he had married Vicki.
Okay.
She was his 3rd wife.
Good at relationships too.
So just like Vicki, a former spouse of his, had been admitted to the psychiatric hospital due to the abuse that... Oh fuck, there my power. Why is my power gone off?
I just saw it go dark.
I don't like...
What is happening? Oh my god, if I see something, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Don't do that.
What
is happening? I'm so glad we don't record this. Like on video, because I would not look at that.
Yeah, the video, I was just thinking we should have had this on video to document all this weird crap happening.
Gosh.
I don't like these.
No, neither do I. So, a previous spouse of Arnold had also been admitted to the psychiatric hospital due to the abuse that she suffered at the hands of him. The two of them were going through a divorce and a custody battle. Arnold was trying everything in his power to pay as little as possible maintenance or get full custody. Okay. Allegedly, Arnold tried to bribe a family member to make an affidavit stating that the family member, had received drugs from Vicki. Because, I forgot to mention that Arnold was trying to make it seem like Vicki was incapable of being a mother, basically, and that he was trying to say that she had drug abuse issues. There we go. Sorry.
Oh my word. Is it not cheaper to pay, alimony than to actually just raise the kid yourself? Just pay her the money and go away if you're such a crappy person.
But some people, use their children as pawns during...
Which is sad.
Yeah, during divorces. During, some of the divorce proceedings, during the time, she was made to take 4 drug tests. Jeez. All of them came out negative, by the way.
Yeah.
So back to the young ma'am.
That's what they call me. Or the young ham.
I was just thinking of Belinda Blink Madman.
Me too.
So back to the young man he bribed. Arnold bought him a car and threatened that his dad would lose his job if he didn't do as he told him and write the affidavit.
Oh, wow.
Arnold was a director at Proac Engineering, which is a metal fabricator. The young man filed the affidavit on the 3rd of March 2021, and on the 5th of the same month, Arnold filed to be the primary caregiver of their son. And then on the 25th of March, Vicki also filed a claim to become the primary caregiver. So on News 24, they reported, quote, an interim High Court order issued on the 11th of May this year determined that, pending the finalization of the Family Advocate's inquiry to determine who would receive custody of the child, Terblanche and Vicki would have joint custody of the child. It was also determined that Terblanche had to pay Vicki 18,500 Rand a month for maintenance, 3,500 Rand towards maintenance for their son. He had to rent a property for Vicki that she shared with Leach, pay 1,250 Rand for water and electricity, as well as the Wi-Fi at the residence and insurance on her car. It was later revealed in court that he had also taken out a life policy on Vicki, and even though he cancelled the Wi-Fi payment due to Leach's alleged online gambling, and he stopped paying the car insurance because Leach was also driving Vicky's car, he never stopped paying the life insurance.
Aha.
Or the life policy.
Suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Yeah. So you want to be like, well, this is a guy that she's with and she's not with me, so you're not going to get that, but I'm going to get money when she dies. That is very suspect.
Very. He even offered another one of her family members 50,000 rand cash to convince Vicki to agree to the terms of their divorce. But she wasn't willing to give up custody.
Yeah.
So speaking of the divorce that Vicki filed in December of 2020, in his affidavit, his as in Arnold, after he had been arrested, he said that he was the one who filed for divorce due to Vicky's narcotics and alcohol abuse.
What on earth? Again, that's very like Chris Watts trying to like slander the victim in a way, you know?
Then it came out, like during the trial, it came out that he had moved millions of rands worth of assets into the names of other family members. I wrote down into the names of other family members' names after Vicki had filed for divorce. Because they had been married in community of property, which obviously means that they would split their assets down the middle should they get the divorce, which they were.
Yes.
So how this came out is in his affidavit, after he had been arrested, he only listed his Mill Park home that was worth 4 million rand and his holiday home in St. Francis Bay worth 6.5 million rand. And that he earns a monthly salary of 65,000 rand. So he only listed that as his assets and his income.
Okay.
I can't even imagine having a 6.5 million rand house. But I also feel like that's so wasteful. I don't want a house that big or worth that much.
I do.
Honestly.
I do. So I can fit lots of cats in there.
I just want a little, like, land with a small little house and animals. Ooh, we saw bunnies today running around in the field.
We are such different people.
So, when the state questioned why he didn't disclose that he owns a motorboat, a rubber duck, a jet ski, and a BMW X5, he said that he'd sold those items to his daughter.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I love he owned a rubber duck. I just picture the little ones. Yeah. Duck.
I got a yellow one.
Because you're like, a yacht, a helicopter, a rubber duck, an X5, you know what I mean? It's like...
He has also recently bought a Hilux, which he registered in his 26-year-old girlfriend's name.
26-year-old girlfriend.
Yep.
And he's 50 what?
55.
Yep.
She was still legally married, by the way, while they were dating. And then Arnold also transferred ownership of 2 Harley-Davidson motorbikes, a BMW motorbike, and an off-road camping trailer to his daughter's name.
Wow. Talk about securing your assets, eh?
All this after Vicki filed for divorce, eh? It was revealed that he removed himself as director from Proac Engineering in November last year, so 2021, replacing himself with his son-in-law.
Jeez.
Why did I write that? In November last year. Did I mean... I think I meant November 2020. Because I said that this was around the time that Vicki had made her suicide attempt. So I'm assuming that I meant 2020.
Yeah.
He's still listed as a director on his LinkedIn profile though. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I assume you intended to switch back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also read in one of the articles, but I didn't write it down, that even though he stepped down as a director, he'd still been getting a salary during that time. So that's stupid. It was clear that he... Hello?
Sorry, you're lagged and now you sound like an alien.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, are you serious?
You're sounding like...
Still.
No, now, are you back? Hello?
I have never left.
Okay, no, you're still goggling.
What the hell is going on? I'm scared.
I don't know. All of a sudden, like, it just switched to that.
Is it still like that?
No, it sounded a bit better there. Say something else, maybe?
Something else, maybe?
Yeah, it's still all weird and goggly.
Okay, that's really weird. I'm scared.
Okay, yeah, you switched back. Like, I could see, even visually, like, the whole thing just, like, switched.
Switched?
Like the screen, like, your video kind of changed a little bit, and, like, you're back to normal now.
I'm not looking forward to editing this.
Yeah, it's so weird. But, I mean, we have to keep that just part of this episode, because this is a glitchy day. It's just people need to see what we're dealing with.
Welcome to the glitch show. Okay, so it was clear that Arnold Terblanche was prepared to obstruct the legal proceedings in any way that he could during the divorce.
Yeah.
Now, you're probably thinking that at this point that Vicky's boyfriend, Reinhard Leach, might be set free, you know. But, unfortunately, he was a part of the entire plan.
No.
These are only a few details that emerged from the opposing bail affidavit compiled by investigating officer Colonel Kana Swanepoel that was read into the recording during the continuation of the bail applications of Reinhard Leach, who was, like I said, mentioned already, 32, and Vicky's boyfriend, and Arnold Terblanche. Reinhard Leach ran a criminal enterprise dealing with abalone. The affidavit goes further. The affidavit goes further to describe him as possibly being a psychopath because he was pretending to be in love with Vicky, all the while spying on her and reporting back to Arnold. He even took pictures of the notes that she was sending her legal team for the divorce proceedings.
Oh my word.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth?
Literally feeding your ex information to use as ammunition against you in a court proceeding.
Yeah, that is so messed up. Just pretending to love someone, gaining their trust,
right,
and then betraying them like that.
What the hell? Swanepoel further stated that Arnold and Reinhard had been in contact with each other and there were numerous messages and phone calls between the pair. At one point, Reinhard even told Arnold that they might need to start using different phones to communicate with one another. After their first telephonic conversation, Reinhard alleged or said that Vicky was out of it, as in drugged, at that present moment, which led Arnold to contact his attorneys, who in turn obviously contacted Vicky's attorneys. And shortly after, Vicky was contacted by her attorneys regarding the allegations, and she sent a video of herself perfectly healthy with her domestic worker.
Yeah.
And she later also sent a picture of herself at the nail salon.
Okay.
So, Swanepoel said, quote, "This is a vital piece of evidence as it shows that the allegations that she was a drug addict is a blatant lie. The source of the rumor is Leach and Terblanche."
Yeah.
The affidavit made the claim that Reinhard saw that he could take advantage of the situation to fund his criminal activities as well as his drug habit, because both dacha, which is weed, and Thicc were found in his car. So Thicc is obviously a really intense drug, really addictive drug.
Yo, we spoke about it in a previous episode. It's an amphetamine, right?
Yes. So Arnold and Reinhard was said to have started plotting Vicky's murder as early as the 12th of October, 2021. Jeez. Reinhard Leach approached Dylan Cullis, as well as another accomplice, to assist him in the murder of Vicki Terblanche. A WhatsApp message from the day before Vicky's murder showed that Reinhard sent Arnold a message saying that he, Arnold, must get him, Reinhard, a fast car because he had to go and fetch something in Cape Town to, quote, do the job for him, end quote. And he also needed the car in case someone were to chase after him. And he also needed firearms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also you can't take firearms on a plane, so that's why you need the car, right?
Yeah. Most likely. On the night of the 18th of October, Reinhard Leach allegedly took a large quantity of the Schedule 6 drug, Percocet, and crushed them up and mixed it with a fizzy drink similar to Baraka. So Percocet is a combination medication, and it's used to help relieve moderate to severe pain, and it contains an opioid pain reliever, oxycodone, and a non-opioid pain reliever, acetaminophen. So oxycodone works in the brain to change how your body feels and responds to pain. And then the other one, which I'm not going to repeat, can also help to reduce fever. So he gave it to Vicki to drink, and she felt nauseated, for obvious reasons. And that's when Dylan Cullis took her to lie down, at which point Reinhard Leach suffocated her. They then left the Percocet tablets in the house to further drive the point that she was struggling with substance abuse. And then it also came out in court while they were all at court, because obviously all three of the accused applied for bail, but Cullis abandoned his case very soon, and then eventually Leach also dropped his case. And eventually it was just Arnold who was still applying for bail. It also came out that on the 20th of October, Arnold Terblanche asked his girlfriend, the 26-year-old, to call the police to complain about the barking dogs. The docking bogs.
I hate those docking bugs.
Oh my word.
The docking bugs could be a band.
Yeah. The barking dogs, to complain about the barking dogs at Vicky's residence. The girlfriend was apparently out of town, so she instead asked her mother to phone. She did, but no one responded to the complaint. And then the girlfriend's sister called the police the next day, so the 21st of October, to complain about domestic violence at the residence. So so basically what the article said was Arnold Terblanche was basically trying to get the police in there because they'd staged the scene there. They'd staged
they wanted them to find the drugs.
Yes.
So it's like they wanted the cops to see it as like a suicide, especially considering she already tried.
So then the girlfriend's sister called the police the next day, what I presumed to be the 21st, to complain about domestic violence at the residence. But when SAPS arrived, they refused to enter the residence because neither one of the parties involved in the domestic violence had been present. So they can't just enter the residence without need.
Yeah.
Then Arnold sent his domestic worker to Vicky's residence so she could pick up clothes for the Terblanche's son. While she was in the house, she took photos and video clips of what the house looked like. And remember, at this point, Vicki had already been murdered, and the scene was strategically left. She sent these pictures and videos to Arnold, and he forwarded them to the family's advocates the next day. And then from the article is a direct quote, "It is clear that a scene had to be staged to create the impression that the deceased went off the rails with drug use and is now missing," Swanepoel's affidavit read. This was Terblanche's elaborate scheme to besmudge Vicky's name. Unfortunately for the accused, this plot was thrown out the window when Cullis decided to point out the shallow grave where the deceased was buried. Is also a direct quote from Swanepoel's affidavit.
Yeah, you can't bury yourself.
So, to get back to what happened after Vicki had been murdered...
You kind of glitched a little bit.
Yeah,
you kind of glitched, but back? Okay.
Okay, cool. Swanepoel's affidavit...
You felt it in your soul.
I felt it in my soul. Swanepoel's affidavit claimed that Cullis and the other implicated man changed Vicky's clothes. She had urinated at the time of the murder, which obviously happens when you are strangled or suffocated to death. The next day, so on the 19th of October, they wrapped Vicky's body up in bedding from the spare room, and then they loaded her into the boot of a BMW. They were deciding how to get rid of the body, and even approached someone to help them, but that person refused. During this time, the three men also decided that it would be a great time to go and have some fun. So they went to the William Moffat Center to go and ride go-karts, while Vicky's body was still in the boot of the car.
I thought you were going to say, like,
Crazy.
they went to a casino or a strip club or something.
They went
along
riding.
the lines of that. That is,
Idiot.
like, such a wholesome activity. But that also shows, like, just how separated they are from the reality of what they've done.
Yes,
Because, like, at least if you go drinking, you can say, okay, they were, like, numbing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to do something that kids do for fun. Wow, so you really don't feel anything.
Literally having the body in the car a day after you murdered someone or was an accomplice to murdering someone.
That's insane.
Reinhard Leach finally found someone to dig them a hole, and he paid him in cash. Didn't say how much. They dumped Vicky's body in the shallow grave on the night of the 20th of October 2021. So what I was obviously also thinking is they went go-kart riding and had Vicky's body in the car on the 19th already, but they only buried the body on the 20th.
Oh, yeah. That's quite a long time.
Yeah. And in October it's hot, so why did no one smell that?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's just before our summer.
Allegedly on his way to Green Bushes, where Vicky's body was found, Reinhard contacted Arnold to tell him that Vicky would no longer be a problem. Of course, Arnold Blanche has been trying to fight his charges since he got arrested. Like I said, he applied for bail on the 26th of November. He tried to paint the picture of a troubled woman struggling with substance abuse and claimed that she was incapable of caring for their son. Terblanche was first represented by advocate Francois van Sale, Sr., who grabbed international headlines in 2014 when he successfully defended British businessman Shireen Devani. He was Yes, he was similarly accused of ordering a hit out on his wife, Annie Devani. Do you say do you pronounce it?
Devani.
Devani, yes.
I think Devani,
yeah. He had read Arnold Blanche's affidavit that stated Reinhard was in contact with him more than once before Vicky's death because of Vicky's drug abuse, in quotations, and that he had been the only one left that was able to care for their son. So Reinhard said that he had to care for the son because Vicky was just strung out all the time, or and I'd just like us all to remember that this is the man that they found Thicc in his car. So I wouldn't really trust what he was saying. But that's just me. He went on to say that that she had a lot of debt and said that she was, quote, aggressive and could not fully accept her son's ADHD, even saying that she was being unfaithful to Reinhard Leach and that he had told Arnold that he had caught Vicky in her son's bed with another man.
Ugh. Okay, but if the ex and the current dude who's lying to her, you can't trust either one of them. Like,
exactly.
Your word means nothing.
Also, you're just defiling a woman's name who can't defend herself because you literally killed her. You took away her voice, and now you are defaming her name. How dare you?
Yeah.
Also, during his bail hearing, he said that if he was to be detained in custody much longer, it would negatively affect his financial position and his business, saying that he was financially supporting his girlfriend, her daughter, and his son. Well, you should have thought about that before you did what you did. Arnold Blanche stated that should he be granted bail, he had every intention of standing trial to prove his innocence in a court of law, especially in light of the negative publicity that he had already received in the media.
He's definitely a sociopath.
Aside from the offense being serious, Blanche said he could not understand why the state was opposing his bail, adding that even convicted murderers could be granted bail pending an appeal. The gall.
Wow. It's like, you're soon to be convicted murderer. Just shut up.
Exactly.
Give us a minute.
Get used to it. Leach's affidavit was read into the record by his attorney, Tiens Rulofse. Leach said should he be released on bail, he would reside with his father and abide by any bail conditions imposed by the court. The retired teacher said that he had used his pension to start a business and that he wanted to get his finances in order because he would need the money to pay for his trial. He later abandoned his bid for bail, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Arnold Blanche spent the festive season behind bars after the judge had not made a judgment on his bail application. In the new year, so 2022, Arnold has hired a new lawyer, Alwyn Gribeno, also the defense attorney for Christopher Pagnato, who is also a businessman from Gqeberha.
That guy.
Yes. Who also hired a hitman to kill his wife, Jade Panato.
Jeez, these freaking guys. Just leave the person you're with.
Yeah,
just pay whatever and just go.
They're better off without you anyway.
Maybe don't be such a douche. Yeah. Just don't be such a douche in the first place.
The new lawyer that he hired didn't help, though, because on the 28th of January 2022, Arnold Blanche was denied bail. He showed no emotion when receiving the news, and the court deemed it too risky to release him on bail, and said that there was a strong likelihood that he would interfere with state witnesses and evade his trial should he be given bail. Blanche appealed the magistrate court's decision. His counsel brought the application to the High Court, but it was dismissed on the 8th of March, so literally in this week.
Oh, jeez. So recent.
Later, after being arrested when arriving at Gqeberha's magistrate's court from St. Albans prison during a routine search of all the prisoners awaiting trial, an envelope containing Thicc was found on Reinhard Leach's person.
Oh, my word.
Just more evidence that he would basically do anything for drugs.
Yeah.
So the case will obviously go on, and Blanche will have to stand trial for this murder, with Judge Glenn Goosen, who presided over his appeal, saying, quote, "The state has a reasonable likelihood of succeeding. It must be accepted that there is a very real prospect that a very lengthy sentence may be in store for Blanche." And that's how the case ends for now, but obviously I will be updating it as soon as I can. I am following what's happening, and yeah, I just, like the judge obviously said, there's a very strong likelihood that justice will be served, so I'm hoping that will happen, and that he sits in prison for life.
Yeah, because that is so messed up. Jeez. And to do that to your kid as well. That's just...
Exactly.
That kid has to live with all of this for the rest of their life.
It's so sad. And then he wants to say that, he needs to financially look after his child and stuff like that. Well, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that, you probably think that he was going to get away with it, because so many men do get away with murder or people. But, yeah.
It's like going to go live forever with his girlfriend and their blended family.
Exactly. Stupid.
Just the lack of care and of the guy that dated her as well, like pretending to care for her and love her, and that's so sad, man. That poor family, and that's the worst part, when these dudes, you murder or you get someone to murder someone, and then you want to talk crap about them as if they are a terrible person. That's just extra messed up. And that's the mom of his kid, so obviously he really didn't care at all.
Nope, not at all. Well, we should continue before my load shedding starts. By the way, did you see your screen name?
Yes, but it's okay. I took a screenshot of it. I'm going to post it later. Alright, and now we have to talk about spooky things. I'm so glad I didn't go with topics I wanted to cover, because I was alone at home because, like I said, Bass had to go to his office at 10 at night because of load shedding. And I was going to be here alone. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to research stuff like this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Alone. I'm not doing this to myself.
Yeah, no.
Because it's I'm going to freak myself out.
Exactly. I fucking hate load shedding, and especially when I have to be home alone and it's at night.
And it must be so dark where you are.
You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Oh.
It is dark, and I don't know
Remind me to never stay over.
And I don't know where we have one of those headlamps that you put that's like a band around your head.
Because it's as dark as a mine.
Yes. Well, we got them because we went caving the one day, so we had to get headlamps.
Well, there we go.
Because
of course.
it's pitch dark, pitch black there. But it was really nice. That was like one of the best days I've ever had in my life.
Oh, really? Well, fresh air's for dead people, as it says. I don't want to go in a cave.
You're gonna die somehow. We were in a very small cave where I had to like be a little ball because it was like squished.
If I'm gonna die somehow, then I'd rather it be at home on the couch instead of in a cave.
Yeah,
at least then I can feed my cats, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I'm gonna tell you a story about the crying boy curse.
Why?
You've probably heard of it before. I'm sure you've seen this.
I don't know.
So in the 1950s, there was either an Italian or a Spanish guy. Sources say both things. He's an artist named Giovanni Bragolin, and he painted a series of around 60 paintings. These were all the same kinds of paintings. They were portraits of a crying, sad, and ragged-looking small child, usually boys. So one source said that this artist went by 2 other names as well. One source said his real name was Bruno Amadio. Yeah, they are quite Spanish-sounding, so I don't know why it said Italian, but anyway. So for some reason, these paintings were like a huge hit in Italy and the UK and all those places. It said that around 50,000 print copies of this picture were sold in the UK alone.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's like a picture of a crying child that basically looks like a chimney sweep, you know? The kids in the pictures, they look very much like street kids or like chimney sweeps. Like they're very like poor looking, raggedy. Yeah. So apparently the series of portraits was based on or inspired by the devastation of World War II. One source says that the portraits were of children of a Spanish orphanage that burnt down after World War II. So there's one story that says that a teacher named George Mallory found this artist and asked him about the boy in the painting. And he was told that the kid in the painting was a Spanish street kid named Don Bonillo. Apparently, Don's parents died in a house fire, and then people nicknamed him Diablo, the devil, and no one would adopt him because wherever this boy went, fires would start.
Oh, that's weird.
So,
like Jack.
Yeah. Jack?
The Incredibles?
Ah. When you say Incredibles, all I can see is the dad and the chin and like the thick mom.
I love the Incredibles. Wasn't there a second one that came out? Is it out?
I think so. I don't know.
I need to watch
Probably.
it.
There's a quote from a source that says, "The boy was adopted by Giovanni against the will of a priest and was accused by this painter." What?
I don't know.
What? Wait, sorry.
I
I literally copied this from a site. Wait. I said accused. I meant abused. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. So this boy, Don Bonillo, who's named Diablo, he was adopted by Giovanni against the will of a priest, and he was abused by this painter Giovanni. And apparently the paintings of the sad little orphan made him rich, but then one day his studio mysteriously burnt down, and he was blamed for the arson. And then this little boy ran away, and years after, the same little boy was found dead in a car explosion in Barcelona. So it's all like a very like, whoa, you know, like tale.
Oh, that's weird.
So it's kind of like saying the painter adopted this boy that no one wanted to adopt, abused him, his place caught on fire, and then this kid got away and then later died. Regardless of that, they remained popular up to the early 80s until it appeared that the paintings may be haunted or cursed. It was 1985 when
I would imagine so. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like everyone is... Because why would you... I saw one thing that said that people sort of resonated with the emotion of the sad children because it was post-war, they were trying to rebuild, you know, they'd been through all that trauma. But still, to have a painting like that in your house is just like, oh, it's a crying child. Like, so it was 1985 when the shining light of journalism that is The Sun, you know, that UK publication we have here, they ran a sensational piece, and the title was, quote, "Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy Picture!" exclamation point. And that was about the cursed crying boy paintings and how they were the cause of house fires. So They used the story of a Ron and May Hall, a couple whose house had burned down because of a fire that started in a chip pan, which I don't know what that means. It's maybe a very British thing. But they blamed the painting
like
in its
a deep
curse.
frying pan that you make chips in, I guess.
That's what I thought, like frying chips. Yeah, like for their fish and chips. Yeah, because, British.
Yeah. I told Patrick when we go, I really want to eat, like, British fish and chips, and with, like, mushy peas.
Dude, I'm so jealous. I want to just, I want Bass and I to go, like, England, Ireland, Scotland, and just, like, the whole countries.
Yes, that would be amazing. We're not going for that long, but I mean, we are, the first couple of days will be in London, and then my dad stays in, or lives in Newbury. So that's also quite a nice place, and then places like Oxford and Reading are like less than 40 k's away from them.
Okay,
so we'll just travel there via train and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'm really excited.
You should go to Kent, to the Garden of England and go find Belinda's, like, that tattoo guy. Oh my, okay. A cursed victim's house would catch a light, burn down, and the only remaining item untouched by the fire would be the painting or the print of the painting.
No.
So the Sun quoted a fireman saying that, quote, no firefighters would dare bring a copy of the cursed painting into their own homes. But this was possibly not entirely accurate. The Sun is going to sensationalize things because they want to, get publicity and all that. The Sun made a big showing of this whole legend, and they were telling people that, look, send us all your copies of the paintings because people's houses are burning down, and we're going to make this big bonfire, and we're going to get rid of all these paintings. So on Halloween...
Well, the paintings don't burn.
That year...
Don't they fucking listen?
Exactly. That's my point, yeah. But apparently... They burned 2,500 paintings that people had sent in on Halloween in a big bonfire. So saith the Sun. So I don't know.
So saith the Sun.
But then, this is a direct quote. A week after, they published another article titled, quote, Crying Boy Curse Strikes Again, unquote, in which they talked about a young family's home being destroyed by fire, but only the painting remained intact. And then, their last article, which covered this topic, is titled Crying Flame, which was published on Halloween, in which they claimed that they had burnt all the paintings in a huge bonfire, which was organized near the River Thames. But again, they're not supposed to be able to burn.
Exactly.
Maybe the original paintings don't burn, but the copies do. Maybe like the reproductions, like the copies of the pictures burn, but like the originals don't.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe this lag. Why?
What the fuck was that?
What?
Did you hear that?
No, what? What?
What?
Kristin?
Is that on your side?
No, where? No, what? Stop. What?
It sounded like a...
Oh, that was the chicken.
No, that wasn't the chicken before. Dude, that wasn't... Okay, anyway, let's just continue so we can end this nightmare.
It was a chicken.
It was a very angry chicken. Okay, so... A woman from the Isle of Wight said that she tried burning the painting, but it wouldn't burn. One woman said that she believes the painting was the reason her 3 sons and husband had died. This one is weird. One woman said that after they bought a copy of the painting, her son, 11 years old, had, quote, caught his private parts on a hook.
What?
Which I'm just like,
what?
And why are you blaming that on a... Yeah, and why are you blaming this on a painting? Do you mean like a fishing hook? Or like a hook on the back of a door? Because those are 2 different things.
Exactly. I know. I'm trying to understand where the hell the hook was situated that it could do that.
Oh, I don't want to know. Then Dora Mann told his son that her house burned down 6 months after she bought a painting, and every other painting in the house was burned, and everything was destroyed except for the painting. In Great Yarmouth, a fire started in Parillo's Pizza Palace early in the morning. This owner, Parillo, got these paintings of the crying kids a week earlier, and people said to him, don't put this in your shop, this is bad luck, and a fire started in his shop a week later. So fire seems to follow these paintings. But then, I think it was in 2010, there's a video on YouTube where they were like, I'm going to burn one of these paintings and see what I don't know if it's one of the original 60 or a reproduction. But basically in the video, the bottom right is kind of where he starts the fire, and the bottom right part of the picture burns, but the picture where the child is, it's completely like fine, and the fire just burns out and dies after a while. It's probably coated in like a fire retardant coating of some sort that like prevents these. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's the original pictures, like the original 60, or like all those reproductions. Because why would you do cheap reproductions and then you like fire coat them? You know, like prevent them from catching a light.
That makes a lot of sense.
Just remember, what was it like 50,000 in the UK that was sold? So it's the one source also, they said like, look, if 50,000 paintings were sold in this time period in the UK alone, and other countries also had them, the chances of finding one of those paintings in a house that burns down is quite good. You know, you're gonna, like, statistically, you're gonna find one of those. But then it's also like to the point where these firefighters are like, I'm not taking any chances. The one firefighter was gifted a copy as like a joke kind of thing. Oh, here's a picture of this crying kid. And he's like, I'm not putting that in my house.
Same.
Because you don't know.
Exactly.
Is it chance? Or is there... Because also it's that whole thing of like, if enough people think of something and put like a thought form and like put that energy out there, does it become a reality? It's like with Robert the Doll as well. Mm-hmm. Was he really haunted? Yeah. Or all those people putting all of that thought and energy in there.
Yeah.
Whether it's energy of like an email like to the museum, oh, I'm sorry, Robert, or handwriting a letter, or, oh, I'm definitely not buying this painting because it's gonna burn my house down. Like, you're putting that energy into the legends.
For sure.
Yeah, that's one of the creepy paintings out there that we need to cover.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, sorry, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Well, you said your story was long.
Yeah, that was a really good story though. Like, I'm on the side of the firefighters. I wouldn't risk it bringing it into my house. You know. Also, I wouldn't want something like that in my house in the first place. To be honest with you, so
yeah. I mean, Victorian Europe was a wild time.
Oh my word! I have load shedding in 20 minutes.
Oh my word! Is Pat at least there?
No, I think he's only leaving Cape Town at like 8.
What an experience this was.
Definitely an experience is the right way to put it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to sweep my carpet of glass. I'm going to sage the room, and then I'm going to stuff my face.
Like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Please, and Instagram.
At Lawn Omen. Mm-hmm. We have an email address.
Email us.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
This fucking lag. Info at lawnomen.com.
We have a recently updated website.
Yes.
lawnomen.com.
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Deezer, Stitcher, Google Play.
Yes, and any other platforms that we're not on, just let us know and we'll try our best to get on there.
Yeah. We're sorry about how chaotic this episode was.
So
it's not
chaotic.
our fault. It's this entire day.
Yeah, share, like.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
And we hope you have a great week.
Yes. Stay safe.
Okay, love you. Bye.